And folks, of course, again, reminders we get into this game number 1, but it's a TVZ. We don't need to talk about anything. There's nothing really significant happening. Well, actually, I'm sorry. The one significant thing happening, of course, is Serral did open pool first. So he's going to try to delay the command center, but even on Moondance, because this was like a 15 to 16 pool from Serral, the command center is going to go down. Okay, was this CC first from Cure? Might have been. No, yeah, this was command center first from Cure. So Serral trying to be trying to go for an aggressive option, and Cure going greedy. And of course, CC first is actually really good against the pool first, if you can get it done in time. So if you go for like a 15 pool, not a 12 pool, the command center finishes, which means there's no delay on it. You get Marines out. Like it is a superior opening. So in the rock paper scissors, the roulette. Really, rock paper scissors is the proper analogy here. Cure just finds himself ahead. He was able to quick expand while Serral delayed his expansion. Yes, folks, again, there are 2 other English streams if you are interested. I believe, well, actually, Hero and Sue is done. So twitch.tv/Matcherino, twitch.tv/SomeDrunkCanadian are also covering different matches. This is, of course, the A stream, and then Matcherino is the B, and then we have Some Drunk Canadian as well. Of course, Titan on Fire will be joining me to go cast in the semis and the finals. Once we get there, once we pass through to the round of 8. But Curie's got Hellbats on the mind in this game number 1. Concussive Shells on the way, so he's going to look to Bulldog or drop. Sure, fine. He's going to look to drop a bunch of a couple Marauders on Queen's head, slow them down, then Hellbats move forward and kill them all off. The much vaunted assassination attempt. Oh, that's awkward. Okay, there we go. Medevac's on the way. Armory as well, but Serral's got roaches on the mind. This is kind of an interesting setup. So technically, a roach timing against a Hellbat timing is just incredible. It's so damn good. Marauders are going to change that calculus only slightly, but folks, there is no bunker. There is nothing really to prevent these roaches. Okay, send one roach Serral and get on top of that, but it looks like he will not even bother. 3 Marauders are out, of course, and with concussive shells, the roaches don't micro all that well. Concave getting set up here for Cure at the moment. The Viking will land as he tries to stay alive. And these Marauders are doing such good work here, just enough to buffer forward, but the roaches now they turn around once again. Marauders kiting as well as they can, and then we will see most of these Hellions go down. A couple SCVs fall as well. Serral now runs forward. Again, tries to get the round that last of the Hellions. The Marauders are a little bit harder to kill because, of course, they do have a healer on top of them. Medevac is there, but now the Roaches move forward once again, and, well, the Hellions, they're all dead. But these Marauders will stay alive. So, in the balance of things, I don't think Cure's going to be too unhappy about that. I don't think Serral's too unhappy about it either. The Hellbat timing didn't happen. He forced a lot more Marauders than Cure would normally like at this stage in the game. And so long as Serral stays alive from the next drop, these 4 Marauders that are going to be pretty obnoxious, actually. Unless the Queens are where they need to be, and they might be able to cancel this base. Actually, Marauders do heavy damage versus armored, and technically Zerg buildings have an armored tag. Well, we're going to have to see how much he's going to be able to get done here. Of course, with link speed not being done, it's Roaches and slow links trying to defend this, and I mean, it's not all that great. This is on a 90. I'm on a clean feed, so I'm on a 90-second delay. But I'm live. There's no delay on stream. As now Hellions are going to try to dive in the natural. Oh, that's a big lineup right there. 6 workers will die fairly easily. Actually, make it 7 because it just another one spawns in the line of fire. And now Cure is starting to get the damage that he wants. Yeah, he didn't get that Hellbat timing at first, and it was a little awkward. But Serral lost a lot of Roaches. 8 workers going down. Marauders dropping in the main base as well to knock down these Roaches because there's only 2 of them, and the hot pickup micro is pretty damn nice from Cure. Cure looking in a fantastic position to take the first game in this series. The Roaches continue to fall. Marauders, they just don't take damage from Queens. Like, you need to kill the Medevac to have any hope, and the Medevac is not going down. Sitting pretty far back. The defensive Roaches, well, they're not all that defensive, to be totally honest. 3 more workers will fall. Queen has died. Marauders trying to find their way into mineral lines. Drones get tagged, they get knocked down, another roach will fall. These four Marauders, stim now done. Well, they're getting ludicrous amounts of damage. Serral did not go for really this is a build order problem more than anything, and great adaptation from here in the mid game. 11 workers have died. Second stim here, 12 workers have died. I think it's like 20 drones over the course of this game because the Hellions got, I think, 9 as well. Mutas are on the way, folks, but I mean, Serral needs so much damage with this. It's going to be a lot of work for Serral to fight his way back into this game. Mutas, of course, are maybe a start if they're able to pin Cure back in some way, but Cure's 1-1 is just about done. He's not really interested in any sort of delay and anything that will prevent him from running across the map. So yes, supply of Serral is higher, but it's Roach Ravager. It's Roach Ravager Muta, which is actually a pretty gas-intensive composition, and Muta's trying to knock the tank down, but will be unsuccessful in that endeavor. And now on the right side, Cure will go try to knock this fourth base down. Bio stims on top of everything. Not as many Marauders as their previous were. Muta's trying to move on the backline. They're going to knock this tank down. And the concave from Serral is actually really, really nice. So it's going to be hard for Cure to take the fight that he wants, but he micros backwards, tries to get as much as he can here. Trying to get target as many Mutas down as possible before he does lose this army. Excellent hold from the Night King. And yeah, the upgrades are horrible. Upgrades are so bad in Cure's favor. But at least Serral survives. At least he's finding himself up to 75 workers right now, and now Cure's going to be in this position where it feels like he's going to get pinned back just a little bit. The Mutas they're present, and they actually Serral didn't lose a lot of them. Although, of course, the scary thing is 2-2's halfway done, and Serral's evil chambers are not even halfway done. So there's going to be a 4 upgrade window for quite a while. Normally, you're okay with a 2 upgrade window if you play this Muta style, but again, this is Serral freestyling right now, trying to find a way to come back into a game where he's lost 25 drones. And that first push coming in from Cure, I'm pretty sure that almost any other Zerg in the world would have just lost the game right there. So great job from Serral, the positioning, the not even the Muta control, but the understanding of when you can dive in, knock the tank down when you can. Again, just really well done from Serral. Even just delaying the push long enough to get the next round of army out. But again, I'm really worried about this upcoming timing from Cure. He's gonna have about 30 seconds where he has 4 more upgrades than his opponent. And Banelings are good, folks. But are they that good? I don't know. So Serral's entire goal, his mission in this game, number 1, keep Cure back. Do not let him take a straight up engagement. Do not let him pressure into you, because if he does that, you will probably die. You cannot take the fight. So instead, we're going to see Serral spin up a bunch of run-bys. Try to put Banelings and Mutas into mineral lines, and really even expand away from wherever Cure is fighting. So there will be some bases, I think, that we're going to see going down with this timing, as Cure's also realized exactly what Serral needs to do. So it is 4 missile turrets right now. Good micro on the Mutas to start, as Serral pulls away the weekend 1, doesn't lose anything to the medevac or to the missile turret. That's actually fairly easy to lose a missile or a Muta to that one, but Thor Splash goes down. There's only 1 missile turret in this mineral line, and with +1, the Mutas can theoretically deal with this one, but Serral, again, doesn't lose a Muta. Well done. But he pulls out of there. He says, I'd rather get less damage and keep my Mutas alive. I don't have the economy that I need. Only just now does Serral have the economy that he needs to deal with this one. It was 1-1. It's now completing. Serral has survived the 4 upgrade window. And Cure's actually rather slow into his 3-3. His +3 attack is on the way. His +3 armor not even started. So Serral is now, he's much more in the, I'm kind of okay with this. You're not happy about it, but you're kind of okay. He's been able to max out. He's now on 5 bases, 6 base on the way, 84 drones in the bank, or in his hip pocket. I don't know. But this is a game this is playable for Serral now. He's bought enough time. And now those eBays are actually rather vulnerable. No missile turret really covers them, as Muta's going to dive in once again. That missile turret in the pocket base is going to go down. And there we go. Marauders will fall. Mutas into the third base, or into the fourth base, excuse me, but they got to run out of that one. Mutas will still not die. Serral's doing a great job of maintaining his Mutaflock in this game as Widowmine. Well, it does damage to a queen, but that's just about that. Serral setting up a decent engagement right here. The tanks are not yet seized. So many Banes come rolling on forward. Friendly fire there from the Banelings as well, or from the Widowmines as well. Widowmine shot is going to be nice on the backside, but Kira just got to pick up as much as he can. Banelings get decent connections on the right side, though, or excuse me, on the backside of the pocket base. Kira's got a drop going on, but Banelings should be enough to clean that one up. There we go. Hive most of the way done here. Queen getting a little pot shots on this drop. Serral reacting pretty well. Mutas into Kira's main base on top of everything. So the game is, or Serral is causing chaos at this point. He's making it hard for Kira to stay on top of things. And with his high, Serral has a bank now. Serral's 2-2 is pretty close to being done. There is the Ultra Cavern is interesting to me as Amita will finally go down as Thor gets a big beefy shot. But Serral is causing so much chaos on the map right now that Kira is really struggling to get the damage that he's looking for, but that hold position a little bit awkward. Banelings run forward. Kira was not ready for that one, and so many of these Marines will fall. Yeah, Serral can break this position now. This fifth base that Kira won, maybe not. The Thors are pretty powerful. We underestimated the Thors. But Serral, again, he pretty much is the majority of bases that he wants to take on this map, on this side of the map at this point. 3-3 is a timing, but it's going to be timed out pretty well against the 2-2. So yeah, this is the timing that has traditionally killed Zergs, all through HOTS, for example, but it's not going to be the end of the world. As Miguel has said, our next matchup in this series, those of you, or our next matchup, that'll be on the stream after Serral versus here is going to be Sue versus Beyond. So that is getting held for us because we just get more fancy TVC action, which is very exciting. But now Serral's catching up on upgrades. Adrenal Glands are done. Kindness Plating on the way as well as Widowmines. They move forward. It's a bit of a bait, but Serral on the edge of things. He's got a surgeon's, his mutas are a surgeon's knife in this game. He's getting so much damage now. 12 workers have gone down. He's forcing Kira to reposition into the natural as Serral not gonna run into the fifth base. He thought about it. He did not go for it. Is that the rich depot, the top hat, will get taken on down. So Kira pretty heavily supply blocked on top of this one as well. And it feels like Kira's getting trapped on 5 bases, which doesn't seem horrible. You're like, 5 bases. You should be happy about that. But I mean, let's be real. Look at Serral's situation right now. He's on 7. He has a big bank. And the question now is whether he's going to be able to break the Terran players. A tank gets a good shot. The Banelings will not be able to knock this planetary down. Nice try, Serral. But it was all a distraction forced me the planetary on the right side. This one, I believe, should fall. Banelings, well, actually, there we go. Banelings are not even going to spend their entire force on them. The planetary will fall. And Kira's not at the point just yet where he has bases to spare. There's another command center on the way, of course, but the SCV was killed in the making, so Kira's got a little while longer where he is only going to be mining off 4 bases, which, by the way, he's actually not really mining off that pocket base. Does not look like there are many workers there. His main base is mostly muled out, his natural as well, so this is like a 1.5 base Zerg, or 1.5 base Terran. And now the mutas again flying in once again. These battle mutas here with +1 carapace, with +2 attack, +3 attack on the way soon enough. It is so, Kira is struggling to deal with this. The multitasking of Serral causing so many problems, but no, of course, Thors, they do force him back. But I mean, just look, when was the last time that Kira was on the other side of the map? Every time he moves out, Serral sweeps in with his flock of 20-something mutas. He gets damage, he gets substantive damage. He gets damage that Kira can ill afford at this point on only 56 workers, but the Widowmine bait! All 3 of them do go off. So many of those mutas fall. I mean, Serral's going to replace them, but this does force the mutas back for quite a while now. They're all in the orange and the red. Serral, he has to let them recharge, but now the Banelings become rolling on forward. A much more Marauder-heavy army, so the Banelings are not going to be as effective as they once were. Kira microing backwards, but he does, of course, have to run. The Ultras is still there, and there we go. Another... the Bile is actually going to land on top of this army. Ultras, their 3-3 is done. They're kind of splashed. They're not dying all that quickly. And the army of Serral, of course, it will go down here on the right side, but it's just a distraction. The mutas, again, with this +2 attack, they're breaking bases. The planetary getting very low indeed. SCVs are going to have to get pulled to repair. Serral is going to commit to it. The planetary falls. It is a Ken A 4-base Terran, and, well, that what is now a 4th base on the right side, not doing all that much. Serral knocking down production as well. Barracks continue to fall, and importantly, knocking down the barracks that are building those Marauders that actually deal with the Ultras. Of course, Serral, I don't think he has that many Ultras anymore. He's going back into pure Ling Bane here. And Ling Bane against against a heavy Marauder composition. Lings get on top of the Marauders, and they die. They die with extreme prejudice. I cannot believe that Serral has bought his way back in this game. He took so much damage early, but this is just going to be a dead planet. Serral is A-clicking this thing. It's going to go down. SCVs will fall as well, and maybe he gets a Thor too. That's going to be nice. Maybe he gets some of the army. Fine, but Serral has the larva to remax. Ling's getting on top of everything, and Cure can ill afford that one. Serral comes storming the hell on back. So Serral going for pool first in game number 2, or no, he's not going for pool first, excuse me, in game number 2. And part of that is probably the map. Tropical Sacrifice is much longer than Moon Dance is. So you can go and actually, well, you don't have to worry about some sort of stupid early aggression coming from the Terran, and that's fine. I mean, maybe there's a world where you go pool first just because you're worried about a 2 racks. Cure down 1 though. Of course, shout out to our title sponsor here, G Fuel. This is the G Fuel Gladiators Cup, and they put up the lion's share of the $5,000 prize pool. So that makes us very happy indeed. Lets us bring in 16 of the top players in the world. Like, this is a stacked as hell event. Unfortunately, the Protoss are gone now, as Hero did lose to Sue, and Max Pax lost to Dark. Both 2-1 series. That's a massive upset for Sue. I would love to go back and see the games. Gonna have to see if I can maybe get my hands on the replays. We will be doing Beyond versus Sue after this series. Lucky JL. So we're gonna be doing a second round of 8 match, and then of course round of 4 and the finals will of course be streamed, and I'll have a co-caster for that. You won't have to listen to me the entire time. Titan on Fire will be joining me, and that's wonderful. That's incredibly exciting. I'm sorry, I realized I didn't have the match arena overlay. There we go. Yes, I will have it's gonna be Titan on Fire, who currently is the B Streamcaster. Do we have winners interview? We will not. Unfortunate. Maybe I can convince if the winner speaks English. Maybe I'll be able to convince that one to happen. So this is not going to be a Hellbat. I mean, maybe it could be a Marine Hellbat Tommy, but this is not going to be the same build we saw from Kieran game 1. And I guess what Kieran is thinking, that he just didn't have enough agency on the map after the he didn't have enough agency on the map after the first couple minutes, right? He got so much damage done with the Marauders, and he held off the roach timing from Serral, but did it really matter? I mean, Serral got his mutas out. He forced Cure back home. So I think Cure is going to look for something that has maybe more consistent aggression in this game, as the Queen is dropping out on both sides. Serral's going for the 9 Queen opener, right? He's got tons of Queens. It's going to be very hard for any pressure from Cure to get started in earnest. In fact, one of the reasons why we're seeing a lot of these TVDs go later and later and later, go almost Maru style a lot of the time, is of course the fact that you just go 9 Queens, and that is incredibly difficult for any Terran push to break. But of course, Here's going to give it the old college try. He has 4 additional barracks on the way, +1 as well. This is going to be a 2-base, 5 racks all in, coming out of our Dragon Phoenix Gaming Terran player. And Tropical Sacrifice is actually a fairly popular map for these 2-base, 5 racks all in. You have that position. We can see it on the mini map. We're not there right now, where you can push through where there are rocks right outside the 4th base, and then, well, with the rocks right there, you have this incredible position that Zergs cannot engage into. It becomes rather awkward. So, and then you punch through. But Serral and Zergs in general are wise to this. They've stopped expanding in that position. They say, yeah, we got to get creep spread there, and we got to get it around it, but we're going to expand linearly even further. So Serral taking the base on the north side, and of course, with this being a platform map, this base is harder to take. Right, Tropical Sacrifice is characterized by 4 quote-unquote easy-to-take maps. And then after that, it becomes difficult when you try to take your 5th and your 6th base. But Serral is going to try to do what he can. Honestly, Serral can lose his 4th base, as this is, of course, a 2-base all-in. So you're not as worried about... I mean, you want to be up 1 base on your opponent. 3 base is that. Of course, with all the queens at the front, you do want to keep that 4th hatchery alive. Because then you use your queens at the front. You do need the extra larva. The baneling speed is done in about 15 seconds, something like that one, as now the spore is forced backwards. And Serral, he's got, I'm sorry, I think I said 9 queens. This is looking more like an 11 queen opener. He's just got so much beef here at the front, buying time for more banelings to morph, for more lings to pop out, for baneling speed to get done. And Serral is so confident about this that he has his 1-1 on the way. He says, this push is not going to kill me. Like, nice try, Cure. I appreciate it, but this setup from Serral is glorious. Couple lings not on hold position will go down, but Serral setting up a massive surround to try to break Cure in one fell swoop. But of course, +1 is done for Cure. Is Serral... The question we ask ourselves, though, is whether Serral is going to try to wait until 1-1 is done. But no, he's going to go in right now. Coming from his side. Bailey's got fantastic connections on Marines. Ling's on top of all of the tanks, and they're going to... Well, I mean, there's 1 tank that remains, but the medevac does fall. The tank's going to go down here as well, and Cure got bippity-babbity-boppity. We're seeing why Serral opened up with so many queens on this map. Once you get past the critical mass of the Terran, Marines, tanks, they just don't punch through. And this is so many queens. Serral, he's got a bit of a bank, right? Because all of his queens are at the front line. Actually, that was a lot of queens that just went down, as Serral builds them 4 at a time. But the strength of this push has already been broken. Right, the tanks are done. That is the important thing. There were 4 tanks in that push from Cure, and now there's like 1. And Ling is sharking around trying to knock down reinforcements. They're not going to find them. And we're gonna have to see the. There we go. A couple Marines will get taken down here, but Cure quick on the wall raise. I wouldn't even mind seeing like 5, 6, 7 banelings morphed. I forget what the number is. To go and just knock that wall down and say, okay, well, good luck here, Cure. You're on 1 base. But the push from Cure happens again. Serral, this one he might delay until 1-1. Yeah, he absolutely will. He's 10 seconds off. An engagement right now would be poorly considered. So the queens, they're sitting around, tanking their shots, eating damage to the hatchery. It does not. And here comes the Lings and the Banes from every side. And 1-1 is done. Yeah, +1 armor is done for Cure now, but a little bit too late. Too little, too late. Now the Lings underneath everything, you drop us off all you want, but Bailey's going to knock it all down. This army from Cure's again is going to get smashed. There is nothing. Cure's got a bunch of medevacs. He's down 30 army supply. Serral's got his 2-2. I like the world is Serral's oyster. Now it's hard, of course, to break a 2-base Terran. So Cure's going to have an opportunity maybe to take that 3rd base, but he's going to have to turtle so far. He's going to turtle so damn hard. All right, so... Well, Cure's in a bit of a rough spot here. He's got his 3rd base on location, but that's just another salient point that Serral's going to be able to attack into eventually. Is this Hive? Halfway done. 2-2 halfway done here as well. So Serral's going to have upgrade advantages over his opponent, which is not how this game has started. Certainly not. Okay, so how does Cure get back into this game? We saw Serral in probably a worse spot in game number 1. He said, yeah, I'm going to build mutas. I'm going to pin you back on Moondance to the point where I can get up to 85 workers and get myself on 7 bases and be as greedy as possible. But I feel like if Cure had gone for a build like this, you know, even a 2.5 base all in, gone for an 8 racks, he probably would have been able to win that game. But he wanted to be greedy. He wanted to play a macro game, and that absolutely bit him. But now he's getting his macro game. That's going to be a bunch of dead overlords. Serral finds himself pretty heavily supply blocked. That's not what you want there, Serral. Bit of a missed rally. But Cure has... I'm trying to think about, like... So Cure needs to probably get up to 3-3. He needs to get up a Ghost Tech. I think he's going to have to survive to 5 base Terran. He's going to have to get to that point. We saw how scary Serral was against 5 base Terran on Moondance. And, of course, Moondance is not Tropical Sacrifice. Arguably, it's a worse to Turtle. Moondance, you can get your 5th base a lot easier. Tropical Sacrifice, no. That 5th base on the low ground is so hard to hold. So 3-3 on the way for Serral. Journal Glands, Chitinous Plating as well. And Cure has survived at least until he's upgrade parity, right? His 2-2 is pretty close to being done. But the money, right? That's the problem. Serral's mining so much more. His tech is far advanced. Normally, the Terran just does not really have a timing. Cure's got 68 Marines, 6 tanks, a couple. Actually, that's a decent amount of Liberators. We'll be able to deal with the Ultras well enough. But if Cure loses 1 army, it does feel like he's going to be knocked out of this game. I mean, he's got a heavy army supply, 142 army supply, but again, most of that is Marines. A couple good Banelings wipe those out fairly quickly indeed. And of course, the Vipers, they got a lot of energy. So Charles says, I don't even want to take that fight. Not really. Lings and Mains into the 3rd base, and he's going to put Cure back onto 2 bases once again. His 20 workers will go down. Cure, if he was not all in already, he is now. As Serral will lose the base. That's great. That is a start for Cure, but look at the blue dots on the map right now. Serral, he's like, well, actually like a bunch of sharks circling his prey, looking for the time where he can move in and feast from every direction. Again, the Liberator zones are annoying. They're obnoxious. They cause problems. Bailey's we get a good connection there. Lings and Mains coming in from every side. Blinding Clouds actually not really going to be all that great, but I'm not sure how much it matters because Bailey's getting good connections on every set of Marines. The Liberators are still there, folks. But there's nothing on the ground. And Liberators, what are you going to do? Kill 1 Ling at a time? I mean, that's not going to be all that great. It looks like actually a Liberator somewhere else. 10 drones have just gone down, so that's something. But 5 Ultras on the way. Wait a minute. There's nothing to... We don't have a Spire. There's nothing to deal with these Liberators. I look at this, it's like, wow, this seems terrible for Cure, and it is. But they're actually going to deal with the Ultras pretty well. Queens have to rotate over, but Queens don't have the best range. It's a bit awkward for Serral right now. He took the great fight, but he was kind of sitting there like, I just won the game, right? And Cure's like, no, I got Liberators. It's okay. So Lings and Mains come rolling in once again. Everything gets picked up, but there are so many overlapping areas of space denial in this game that Lings and Mains are actually slowly getting dealt with. The Marines are still around, but the Liberators, they get abducted. Parasitic Bomb on top of so many of these medevacs. And as much as I want to be on Terran Hopium, the Liberators now are starting to fall in earnest. Lings and Banes continue to get made. Serral, he's not having a problem remaxing. Maybe needs a little more larva, but in general, not having much of a problem remaxing. Cure struggling to get above 100 supply, and Lings Bane's Ultras now coming in from every side. You do worry about the Liberators even still, but you can just chase them away. And there we go. Cure is down. He's out. Serral doesn't even have to make a comeback that one. He stomps Cure in game number 2. He's got a date with Dark in the round of 8.